Hey you guys, alright, so I just kind of wanted to do this at least every day, kind of like to have a confessional every day and to kind of speak on it and get that energy out there and just kind of like forget about it. And then I noticed like when I started speaking to a therapist that almost kind of liked it, like just having someone like hammer me with questions like about like um, my life, like what I did like in the past or what I think about or like what I did when I was younger and stuff like that. And then I don't know, I just found out I'm like very honest, and then like I always kind of like being asked like a ton of questions and stuff about myself. So this is kind of like our way of like you guys being my therapist. So I noticed like ever since moving here, like, or even before that, like maybe the past maybe like 10 years or something, 11 years, like I noticed like I have a lot of thoughts that I keep to myself and I don't really say it to other people. Like I remember one time, like I actually like physically talked about Survivor to like another person, and it was like such a big, huge deal to me because I mostly keep that stuff like to the internet, and like to be honest, a lot of my friends like never indulged like my fascination with Survivor. Like they never wanted me to like ever talk about it with them, and they never were like interested in it, even though it was one of my main interests. So that's kind of like whenever I think about them and I think about my hobbies and like Survivor and stuff, like I'm kind of glad that I don't have to talk to them anymore because like I'm like here. Um, So the first thing I did was like I kind of wrote like a journal entry in my notebook, and I wrote down some stuff like 2 pages worth, and then there were some main topics that I kind of wanted to like talk about. So pretty much like everyone's back here at the farm, like a lot of the workers and stuff. So I'm not just like alone by myself with like one other person. So I kind of feel more like secure and like comfortable just like here. I don't know if you guys noticed, but pretty much I'm trying to do like social media and stuff, and trying to do like YouTube or try to do Instagram and kind of like post my pictures of my food or like video games and stuff, because like I don't know, I just kind of think like I'm a huge like trendsetter, or like I like following trends and stuff and fads, and I guess that's just what normal people are doing these days. You know, they post like what they're eating and where they're going and like their interests and stuff on like Insta, and so I just wanted to just join in or jump in, and like I do have like 5 minutes in a day to just to do that, just so other people can get to know me online and stuff. And I kind of wanted to mention like my driver here is like such a huge, is like I don't know, is like a huge help, just cause like he's someone I can talk to, and like I notice I've been talking to him a lot, and he can drive me places and go to the malls and stuff, and like you know, have someone there with me to like take pictures and stuff of like what I'm doing here and my life in the Philippines thus far. So I've also noticed I've been like a little bit more just not as nervous. I think it's probably because I stopped drinking so much coffee. But yeah, so what I wrote down was pretty much my rewatch on Survivor. So just because I did like a first video on Sandra, I am actually watching Survivor 7 Pro Islands Panama, and I'm on episode 6. And I've noticed like they show Sandra like every episode so far, and like key points is like she's not really that good at challenges. She can't even do like the gross food challenge like Jervis in the first season when he had to eat the grub. And but she's in an alliance, you know, and kind of like the rewatch or like doing confessionals and stuff kind of helps me study or like speculate on Survivor more. Cause like I used to like have like a board and I used to just type out stuff, but it gets really boring like doing that just by myself and stuff. And I noticed they focus on Drake more than they do the other tribe, just because there's like more going on there or something, or probably because like the eventual winner comes from that tribe. You never know. And I noticed Morgan's kind of like dry and boring. Like Dara, like what does she even do? You know, she's just like, even Lil was like making comments like she's just lying down like underneath the shelter and stuff all day. And even Tawana was like, oh, she seems so uninterested in like strategy and stuff. But like all the guys were like, oh, she's good at challenges. Oh, she can help us in challenges. Um, I know everyone's wondering how I feel about Andrew, and I kind of just ignore Andrew. He's like what Helen said about the guys in Thailand. He's just kind of like a has-been football or like rugby player, and he's kind of like still living in those like golden years. And then Chris is kind of annoying. Like whenever she does this, like when she's voting someone off, she's like peace or like peace out. I've never seen this. Like, what is that? It's like so annoying. I've never liked her. And her Playboy pictures look really bad if you've ever seen them. And Rupert is okay. John is okay. I never really care about him. And it's only one more episode until the Outcast. Okay, so that's Survivor. And with gaming, I think I'm gonna I've been thinking about it, and I was just thinking about it today or earlier this evening, and I was like, I think I'm about ready to kind of stop with or on the PS3, just because it's like been with me for like so long, and like now I'm more into modern gaming, like with PS4, 5, and the Switch. And I can focus on that for the next couple of years. And it's just like time to move on from the PS3, just because like I keep remembering it's like the first console I bought with my own money, and like it's just, it was there through all this trauma I had, you know, living on my own and like everything. And then I'm gonna like, with the push-ups, it's been like helping me kind of like not be so lazy, and like it has fixed like this crick I have in my neck, like right here. Like every day I would have this like spot like right here, and I would like try to like crack my neck to like reach it, but I can never do it except on like 2 occasions, and I was like, oh my god. But ever since I started doing push-ups, it just went away, so I'm kind of like so happy. And so now that I have this like newfound energy, like I'm gonna try to go out more and like shop for more food and snacks, cause like that's the kind of thing I'm focusing on, is just like food. What kind of food do I like while I'm working out, and like what food gives me energy and stuff. Cause like I kind of notice when I'm eating like home food, like not to knock like Asian food, but like whenever I'm just eating like rice and like ulam or like meat or like gulai, like vegetables, like it doesn't give me that much energy when I'm like working out, or like after like a couple days of like doing push-ups, I get so tired and like fatigued, and like kind of like I just don't have energy to do it, or like I feel kind of annoyed, like I'm so tired already and I have to do like my routine and stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna try to find more like other foods that I'm interested in, like what I like and stuff, like what I see on YouTube, like when they have mukbangs and stuff, or like what I see in like games and like trying it out. But I noticed with games, there's a lot of Japanese food because I do like Japan anime or like JRPGs and stuff. Um, and like overall, I just feel better that everyone's back and like it was so boring being by myself and like it was kind of like I was trying to find stuff to do, kind of like I would game or like watch a little bit of Survivor, and then I almost like kind of wanted to like do something else, and while I'm thinking about what I had just done or what I had just seen and like analyze it or like ruminate about it, or I kind of would just like want to sit or like lie down and just think about what I had just seen or watched. And then I'm still kind of experimenting around with the social media. And this is one thing I kind of wanted to mention. I don't know if I'm like the only one, but I had mentioned it to my doctor and she finds it normal. Um, it's that I feel like people are talking to me in my head. Kind of like, I compare it to when I was in high school. Like, I don't know if I should because I was so young, but in high school, I would kind of just like have this ongoing commentary, like just me thinking to myself the whole time. Even while I was like at school or watching TV, I specifically remember doing that when I was watching Survivor. Is just like I would just keep talking to myself in my head, even over the TV show. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know if it's because I got more life experience, like I actually got out of the house and started working and stuff, but like all of a sudden I kind of feel like people are talking to me in my head, kind of like um, I'd be doing something and then I would hear a comment in my head, kind of like, "Oh, that was fun," or like, like I told my doctor I was like, it's kind of like I feel like I have like what is it? What like I'm like telecommunicating with like my friends or something, and it's specifically like these two dudes I met that I feel like are talking to me the most, and like they say stuff like haha that was funny, or like or see I told you, or like stuff like that. And then I don't talk back to like the voice like in my head or anything. I just kind of let it happen. And I notice I don't have like racing thoughts anymore, kind of like me talking to myself all the time. Like I barely like mimic in my own head. Like I barely say anything to myself like during the day in my own head unless it's something really important, or like something like a health something, like kind of like I'll probably say something like I'm really tired right now to myself like in my own head. But like it's kind of like I feel like people are talking to me, and like I don't know if I'm like the only one that does that. So I'm kind of experimenting with like social kind of like stuff, kind of like, oh, if I tried it out with like posting and stuff, but I guess nothing really came about. But like maybe with YouTube and like when people see me and they can like visualize or imagine how I am, it might like change or have a difference. But like I'm kind of experimenting with like posting something like a video and see if it like changes the way I think during the day about stuff or like whatever. And then the last part I wrote about is like really juicy. So this is the kind of stuff I think about. I'm not trying to like do anything. Like I'm not trying to like start a campaign or anything. So just remember I'm not a bad person. But pretty much it's just like I'm not really missing my friends or America all that much, and I'm just looking to like explore here in the Philippines. Like everyone's really cool, nice, and I'm just focusing on exercise and eating right. And I'm focusing on relaxing and not thinking about the things that bother me. And pretty much what that stuff is, like I have like 10 minutes, is pretty much like I noticed, I kind of have always noticed it, like after I had moved back to San Francisco from Las Vegas, I have always felt like someone was watching me, like especially when I was a kid in high school. I just always got that feeling, and I always like dismissed it, or I would kind of, I thought it was just like me coming up with like crazy like thoughts and stuff, or just like entertaining myself, like thinking it was like Big Brother or something, you know, like, or I've heard jokes like "Where's the camera?" You know, like stuff like that, and I noticed I have always like felt that feeling or noticed that feeling when I was a kid. At this specific house at 419 88th Street in Dealer City. Dealer City is like a suburb of like San Francisco. San Francisco. And I've always felt that feeling there. Um, and I thought it was just like our surveillance camera that was like not working or something, and it was like, I don't know, maybe I just had a weird feeling about it. But like I noticed ever since I like stepped out of the house, got a job, and it wasn't school. It was like, I don't think I mentioned it, but it was like I kind of got what it was like when a bunch of people like kind of see how you're like, they judge you, and then they kind of just, you know, like getting life experience, you know, like meeting a lot of people. And our Chipotle was really busy. I had no idea there were so many people in Dilla City because I never see them walking around on the street. But if you're sitting in one spot, like a restaurant or something, you see so many people come in, or maybe we were just lucky and we had so many customers. But yeah, our Chipotle was pretty busy and poppin'. And like, I noticed when I was home, it was just kind of like my biggest gripe there in the neighborhood was just like the neighbors, and like I noticed the houses are too close. It was a little bit ghetto, you know, and like you can't make too much noise. If I wanted to go outside to have a cigarette, I couldn't, just because like the police would be like, "Oh, you're soliciting," or something like that, whatever that word is. And isn't that so weird? Like in the U.S., land of the free, we can't even go outside your own house, just like smoke a cig, because you want it, because you're so like inept, like in the house, you're so bored in the house, you just want fresh air. You know what I mean? And then that's when the whole stalking thing started, and when I started thinking about like stuff like that, and like narcs and like invisible crimes and stuff. And guess what? I'm not gonna stop talking about this. I was just thinking about it earlier. I was like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this feeling and that specific neighborhood and that specific police station in Daly City, because I'm not gonna let it go. I'm the type of person where whenever I get a funny feeling, and like it involves like my life or like my parents too, like I'm just never gonna let it go, and I'm gonna like go crazy about like thinking about it and like speculating. I'm literally gonna go insane thinking about this. I'm never gonna let it go. And like the neighbors see you outside and they think you're weird, kind of like, what is that like dude doing outside? Oh God. And then they think that of me, I'm pretty sure. And I think they're kind of like stalking at the same time, like peering through their windows and like blinds and stuff. Like, if you think I'm weird just going outside my house to like smoke, I think you're weird that you're like peering through your blinds, like trying to see what's going on in the hood, you know? And then eventually I just hated being there, just like the daily kind of like sitting there watching TV, like whenever you're not at work or school. And like, um, as a guy, like, I don't know, I don't even have to explain it. I'm a guy and like, I just felt like everything was so soft and everything was too soft, and I was like, explain. And like, the stuff they show on TV is never gonna be like too hard. Like, they're always gonna show like Bubbles and like Powerpuff Boys and stuff like that. And like, even daytime TV, like, oh, I was born a man, da da da. Like, all that stuff, I just eventually got over it. Even with Survivor, it's not some hardcore strategizing. They're not killing each other on the island like, um, that like that Japanese movie where it's a bunch of students like killing each other and the last person survives wins. It's never gonna be like that. And like, uh music is pretty soft. I mean, I'm sure some people agree with me that life in America is pretty soft, and some people like that. Some people prefer that, and they're like, yeah, it is like that. And like, um, if you're a guy, like, I just kind of wonder why you're not in jail or why you're not in the service. Kind of like, how can you stand being at home all day and like doing your little, like, I don't know, servicing your lawn and like the kind of stuff people expect guys to do all the time, or like work in the yard in their tractor and like, even having like a cozy kind of like computer typing job, which I saw earlier, having like a typing job and like, like, I always hear people like, oh, I never want to work manual labor, and they're like, I studied so hard so I can get a cush job. I mean, yeah, it's cush and like, yeah, it's comfortable, but it kind of feels like you're still at home, like in your computer room, and like you're so comfortable there. You take shits at work. I mean, like, bring your coffee in the bathroom and everything. It's just so plump and like cozy and like soft, and like, how can you live like that all the time? It's like the opposite of being lazy. It's like you're so like, oh God, I love my job. It's so like la da da, but it's almost like too comfortable for me. I can't stand it. Even with me, like, I mean, I'll end it on a good note. Like, I love fast food. I don't know why people think it's such a loser job. I'm never gonna let that quote go by Tom. Like, it's a loser job, man. And he's like a firefighter or a fireman. And then like, I don't know why Americans see certain jobs as like loser jobs. Like, I don't know why. Like, even if you take out the whole like stoner equation, like, I mean, personally, I'm not trying to like, sugarcoat it, but I love fast food. I love McDonald's. I was like, my eyes were like stars when I had first moved to the U.S. when I was a little kid. Whenever my grandparents took me to McDonald's, because I thought the food was good. I was a little kid. I'm not like so meticulous about like what I like to eat. Like, oh my God, that's junk food. You're gonna die early. I mean, I liked it. I like the fries. I just had some today, and it was still good. It's almost better outside of the U.S., the fast food joints and stuff. And like, I think I don't know the history behind it, but I think it's a big part of American culture. I think it's very American. It just reminds me of like the 50s and diners and like McDonald's, like the golden arches and like Happy Days and like cheeseburgers, fries, sodas. I really love McDonald's, and like when I got to work at Chipotle, I never applied for McDonald's, but when I worked at Chipotle and Wingstop, I thought it was so much fun. Usually, the whole customer service thing is what I like the most. But the food itself was pretty good, and like cooking and everything was a whole lot of fun. Like cooking outside your house, like kind of using the grill and everything or the fryer. Like I don't know why dudes hate the fryer, but I thought it was cool. All right, so it's about to end. Thanks.